Everyone. It is Wednesday, and as I like to refer to it, whatever it takes Wednesday. Now, of course, we should be doing whatever it takes, not just on Wednesdays, but every day to move our lives and our businesses forward. One of my greatest mentors would answer questions with that exact phrase, whatever it takes. And he is a leader of a very prominent coaching organization. And I was just fascinated by when different people, we would be on these group calls, and different people would bring up specific questions to him. And his answer commonly was, he would give an idea. Like he may say, ask them if they would like to meet in person, and discuss, make a list and discuss the reasons for moving forward, not moving forward. Uh, but then he would follow up with that and say, or do whatever it takes to help that client. And I thought that this was such a very helpful lesson to me. I have chosen to share it, and I've chosen to dedicate a day of the week, being Wednesdays, to doing whatever it takes. And, quite frankly, none of us have all the answers, right? We don't. So we can make recommendations to our clients that we're serving them. I am primarily in a service based business. We provide the back end office systems, meaning digital marketing, so that people can automate their business processes as well as their marketing. It's obviously a phased approach, but we do that back office as an extension of the services that we provide, being, fractional sales and marketing services for founders and CEOs, primarily in the healthcare and technology spaces. But I feel that even though we make recommendations and we have proven systems, it's not one size fits all. And it's not a cookie cutter approach where we can just merely take these systems or these proven processes and just dump them, you know, in a portal or, dump them in the laps of the client and say, okay, here you go. There are definitely different areas of their business, whatever their biggest problem is, their biggest top of mind challenge, why they decided to come to work with us, that we do need to make take a closer look and mainly be willing to do whatever it takes. Now, I was just on a weekly mastermind call with a group of people, and we were talking about boundaries, and we were talking about, how do we convert clients from a qualified lead? Well, actually, not just a qualified lead, but from a prospect to a qualified lead, and then on to, converting them to clients. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a difficult process, but it does need to be a process that can be mapped out. And specifically, if you are new to this or if what you're doing now isn't working, what I would recommend is that you look at it from, you look at it from the point of when they become a client and reverse engineer it from that point. because that will allow you to make sure that you're keeping in mind any specific requests or any specific needs that they may, have raised their hand and said, well, we have like, let's say that you're signing on, enrolling a new client, and they have an upcoming product launch, in 3 months. Okay, well, that is super important, and that needs to be noted and also needs to be planned accordingly. Another group of clients I coach for is with the adjunct coaching part of my business. And I work with different organizations and actually coach some of their clients. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because one of the key questions that I ask these clients when I'm doing their coaching, and specifically when I am conducting their launch call, one of the specific questions I ask them is, would there be anything standing in your way from launching? That is an important question. And I do not end any launch call without asking it. And the reason is because what I found was, we can set the goals, but if we're not super clear on what could potentially stand in their way, then they may not meet those goals. So if you are a coach, or you want to be a coach, or you are a leader in an organization, right? When you're setting the goals, you need to ask those difficult questions. And that may be a difficult question. What I mean by that is it may feel a little uncomfortable for you to ask that. That is specifically what you should be asking. If it feels a little uneasy, do it anyway. Because if we don't ask that, then it just, they may not meet their goals. And, just so you have enough context, and hopefully you can take this context and apply it to your specific situation. But before I ask the question, would there be anything standing in your way from meeting those goals? The other two questions that precede that, the first one is, when would you like to launch by? Now, keep in mind, this is not the typical, like launch strategy that many people teach in this, in our service-based arena. This is just a new segment. It's a new revenue stream. So it's uh, actually laser coaching, which are generally 15 minutes in length. Okay, you may call them something else. It may be called laser coaching. They may be called flash coaching sessions. I have liked to refer to my short sessions as secrets of success, but I call them SOS. We all know what that means. But I like to put that happy spin on it. So, whatever it is, I ask them first, when would you like to launch by? And I'm looking for a specific date. And I always like to term it as, when would you like to launch no later than? Because in most cases, in this particular program, people can launch early. The second question I ask them is, how many clients would you like to enroll in this particular group? Okay, so keep in mind, if you're like me, you could do these launches quarterly, which is what I do. You could do these launches monthly. They're very doable as long as you have your calendar set up and you're organized with your systems. You have to have the systems, you have to have the back end automated systems, then you can launch and you can enroll, well, generally no more than 8 to 10 clients every time. There may be some situations where you could launch more, but certainly for the first time, 8 to 10. And then the third question is, would there be anything standing in your way from launching no later than, let's say, March 27th, 2024? Okay. So that's my challenge to you today. Would there be an area in your business, if you are onboarding, if you are enrolling new clients, would there be an area in your business that you could ask that difficult question? Because, I think that if we've worked with clients, sometimes they give up on themselves. And I have found that if I am dedicated to asking that difficult question, which is what, is there anything that would stand in your way? Most commonly, I get answers like me, the coach or the client is saying, not, I can't think of anything else besides me because I've stopped myself before because I haven't always finished what I started. Those are all great observations. And if you are the person that is onboarding that client, you need to know. And what I do with that information then, if they do say, well, and sometimes it really is like they are moving. Or I've had some clients say, actually relocating from the UK to Spain. Or I have my daughter's wedding. So, I have this block of time that I will not be working. Other times it's competing business priorities. They may be, wanting to start this part of their business, add this additional revenue stream. However, they have other revenue streams that need their attention as well. So I ask that question so that we can effectively manage through any of those potential constraints or obstacles that could stand in their way, that could prevent them from launching no later than March 27th, 2024. So that's my challenge to you. Is there a place in your business where you can ask that difficult question that can easily be adapted to teams as well? If you are goal setting, we're in March, right? So, if you haven't done the whole year, you may be getting ready to do the second quarter. Well, think about asking that question because whether they are an individual contributor, like maybe perhaps they're an employee and they're contributing to your team, or perhaps you are running your own business, building your business, you need to ask those difficult questions. So I would start with that one. And in some cases people may feel that you are challenging them a little bit, but in reality, while you may be challenging them a little bit because you want to see, how dedicated are they to that commitment, that goal? Are they just going through the motions? Or, what is it? Is there something that could be standing in their way that could be just kind of like pulling on them, where they may have said that that was a goal? They may have agreed. Maybe it was a team goal and they just had kind of didn't have a choice and they had to go into it. But look, nothing is worth doing if we're just going to go through the motions. And if you are a sales team leader and you have people on your team that are contributing to your quota, your team quota, then you need to know if they are 100% committed or if there would be something that could be standing in their way. So consider asking that difficult question, which gets a little bit easier every time you ask it. Because what I found is, even though I hesitated at first to start including that in my launch calls, the results that my clients got were 10 times better than what they were when I didn't ask the question. Because when I would go back and find out and work with the people who didn't end up launching, or they were most likely delayed launching, so they just kept putting it off from one quarter to the next quarter to the next quarter. What I found was there were competing business priorities. There were things that were distracting them, that were taking them off the focus, and they weren't able to meet that goal. Well, we as coaches and leaders, and whether we're working in a fractional role like I do for some of my private clients, we need to make sure that we're aware of this so that we can effectively help our clients manage through those competing business priorities. Or, maybe they are life events. Some of us are taking care of relatives who need some caregiving support. Some of us are taking care of elderly parents. Some of us are taking care of small children while we're running our businesses or, fulfilling our roles. So it really all starts with getting clear and then knowing so that we can effectively manage through those challenges, those distractions that may take us away. Otherwise, the further we get away from our goals, the less likely that we will be able to return to them and accomplish them. And there's no reason to spend the time setting the goals and going through the motions if you don't have an intention to achieve those. And of course, I would like to see you not just achieve them, I would like to see you exceed them. So, the way that I feel that I can help you is by asking you those difficult questions so I can help you manage through anything that may be preventing you from launching or from achieving that goal. So I'd love to know your comments. What else would you add to this? Maybe you have another powerful question that may be a little bit difficult to ask, but once we ask it, it can reveal the absolute keys that we need to remind ourselves and our clients so that they can meet and exceed their goals. Let me know. Remember, Wednesdays are dedicated to doing whatever it takes. And I certainly hope that not just on Wednesdays, but every day, you are dedicated and committed to doing whatever it takes. So let me know your ideas. If you have any questions or comments, put them in there. Put them in the comment string, and I will be happy to answer those. And I really look forward to connecting with you and learning your thoughts. And if you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comments, send me a DM. Talk to you soon, everyone. Have a great, wonderful, whatever it takes Wednesday.